Hey guys, welcome to Grounded Roots. I'm Jason, and I'm trying to be more of myself on camera. And I was just going to do a video about, I might still do it, but I was just going to do a video, outlining a lot of the videos that I've done to this point, which were designed around helping you raise your vibration. So I was going to do a quick bullet point list of where to start and go down the list. Quick description, move on to the next one. It's kind of summarize all of the videos that I've done to this point. And as soon as I picked it up the notepad to start doing it, and I was like, that's boring. So I also just finished a video, as I often do more than one video at a time here. Just the way I like to do it when I get in the frame of mind of talking, it seems to flow better. Or if I'm in a good frame of mind for talking, it's best to get a couple of videos out. So I just did one, which I'll post first, I think. And it was a rambling about, being more myself on camera. So I've decided to just talk about something that happened to me today and yesterday. I got a haircut. It's a pretty good haircut. Not as good as I would have hoped. I have a barber that I go to here in town. It's fantastic. I try not to be too specific because the people will be able to figure out who this is. So anyway, this barber that I go to, I love talking to him. It's a him. And there are several other barbers that work in the shop. And I don't like getting my hair cut for anyone else. I prefer to have just this person. So, because he's so good, there's often a lineup. And this was uncomfortable. So, there was a lineup, another guy in front of me waiting for him specifically. And the other barbers were like, do you want a haircut? Do you want a haircut? Do you want a haircut? And I was like, no, I'm waiting for this guy. And the other guy was like, no, I'm waiting for this guy. And one of the other barbers got pissed off. Went into the back, threw something. I was annoyed that this very skilled barber was taking business. And this person is also the shop owner, so it's quite awkward. Okay, so this is what happened. Now, I made eye contact with the other barber early on before I said this, and I've had this weird thing happen, which has happened to me before. So you make eye contact, you smile, and the other person sees something in you. If your vibration's high enough, it's as if you draw their 5D person out of them into their body. And you can see they might be angry at first, and then you can see the 5D them kind of recognize you. And there's energy. It feels really strange. It's almost like a jingling bells, but not quite. It's like a buzzing of energy, but it doesn't sound exactly like electricity or anything like that. Very hard to describe this stuff because it doesn't exist in this plane. So this happened. I made the eye contact. I could see their higher self come into them, and then the smile break out on their person's face. And then you can only hold that for so long. And then as I turned and let go, their higher self left again. So I don't know if this is something specific to me, but I've had this happen quite a few times now. I wonder if I'll be able to hold this longer, if that's one of the skills I have, where I can pull their higher self into them and keep it there. But I noticed it, and I know that's what's happening. The smile on the person's face was amazing because it's like, I recognize you, and then dissipates. And in comes the we'll say, low vibrational entity and to start managing the show, which I also recognized happening right away. And then this person went into the back and threw something because I didn't want a haircut from them. So I didn't react. I knew what was happening at the time. I could see it literally as it's happening. So I had a good conversation. I was waiting for my haircut. And then the barber who cuts my hair usually has a trainee. And he wanted me to get my hair cut by this person. And I was like, having just turned down the other barber, if I go and sit with this trainee, it's going to piss them off. But I thought to myself, no, this is what I want to do. I want to give this guy a shot. So I did it. And I could feel the tension in the air. Now, I had a good conversation. He did a good job cutting my hair. Not as good as the other guy. There's a few issues. But hey, still better than the barber who threw something. So, and these people, I have an affinity for them. They're Middle Eastern, and I love Middle Eastern people. Not just Middle Eastern people, but I spent a lot of time in Tunisia. Not a lot. I spent time in Tunisia. I have friends in Tunisia. I love the Arabic culture. They do things the way I think people should do things. And they greet each other properly and first and before getting to business like we do in the West. And I've traveled the world quite a bit, and I do really like these people a lot. And these people are no different. They're just extremely nice, and I like the way they do things. Maybe I had a past life there. Probably. So I have an affinity for them. The food's amazing, not to mention these from Middle Eastern food is some of my favorite food on the planet. And so as we're having conversations in the chair, I can hear the other barber interjecting and saying things to try to get my goat. I would say something talking to both the barbers, both the Middle Eastern barbers, and the other person was interjecting and trying to get me angry. So now this is a low vibrational entity working through this person. I hold no grudge. In fact, I really like this person. I really do. They're good people. It's just they don't know what's happening. So it's up to me to recognize what's happening while it's happening and not react to it. And I didn't. There was lots of things said. Every time I would say something nice to these people, there'd be something said in the background to try to piss me off. And it wasn't going to work. No way. I can see what you're doing. So I shut that down. And Anyway, I left there, and I said very nice things to the other barber, all of them, irregardless of how you feel about me. That's okay. Now, I won't be a pushover. If you're going to do something that's, about across the line, you can try to, you can say what you want, but if you're going to do something that's going to cross a line, then I will step in. I will say something. But like I said, they don't know what's happening. They have no idea that they're under the control of, the Catholic Church would call them demons. The monitoring spirit is probably one of the best ways I've heard it described. It's an entity playing for the other team that sits close by your shoulder, the little devil on your shoulder. And when it sees an opening, it inserts things. Now, if it sees an opportunity to take over in a place where you're weak, or you have trauma or something, that's where it accesses. It accesses your psyche through those cracks in your armor. So as you heal them, there becomes less cracks. As you understand that that's what's happening, it becomes less capable for them to take over. Now, where it gets tricky is when your vibration starts to drop, like it has for me today. I need another drink of water out of my plastic bottle. Don't judge me. I bless the bottle. It's gross. But it's better than no water. So as your vibration starts to drop by doing things like drinking out of plastic bottles, your shields go down and you become more vulnerable. It's easy for them to get through your armor and any of the things that you've done. When you're vibing high, they can pound sand. Like I was saying about this whole incident with the barbers, it did nothing to me. I was proud of myself. I was like, oh, that's awesome. I recognized it as it was happening, and I didn't react in a negative way like I would have before. Definitely would have said something before. And I didn't say anything. So I win. Well, today, I can't ground myself to save my life. Like, it seems like I'm extra sensitive to what we would call the autistic sensory processing disorder, or a highly sensitive person. So all of my physical senses are amplified compared to the average human, let's say. My hearing, sight, all of it. And that's why when I get too much stimulus from the outside coming in and overloading that sensory system, I have a meltdown, essentially. Not like a tantrum, like a kid or anything. I just can't hold it. I get irritable and I got to get out of the situation. I have to go find a place to ground myself. It becomes too much for my system to handle. It's overload. And this has gotten way, way better since I had my awakening. As I've said, I started to close off all these cracks in my armor. And this has been better. I used to go around with drummer's earplugs to help muffle the sound a little bit. Just really annoying when you're trying to talk and stuff to people, but it helps when, a loud car goes by or someone, just the random sounds that we are completely subjected to in this stupid place. It's designed to overload people like myself, by the way. It's in everything. It's insidious. Like every light, everything is designed to get into your energetic system and keep you low vibration. Why would they design it that way? Take a guess. These entities are the ones running the show. So this isn't going to do very good, this video. Anyway, why is everything plastic? Right? Those molecules get into your system, they drop your vibration. And as you do that as a whole, your entire vibration drops as a whole. All the petrochemical fumes, artificial lights, Bluetooth from these devices, it's all fluoride in your toothpaste. I have a whole channel about this, by the way. It's all serves to drop your vibration lower and lower. So if you take it out, you're naturally going to raise your vibration on the whole. And as you heal those chinks in your armor, it becomes harder and harder for these entities, monitoring spirits, to do anything to you, to do anything at all. So today I couldn't hold it. I was struggling. Everything was bothering me. Obviously my vibration was low to start with, and then I went out into society and I tried to do things, and I could tell right away I just was getting irritable and just couldn't handle anything. The smells in the automotive store I went into to get something. Well, it's not automotive, but if you're in Canada, you know which store I'm talking about. The tire store. And they have like automotive chemicals with household stuff and Christmas decorations and all this stuff all in one place. Well, you get bombarded with all of that as soon as you go in, and you got to get it off of you and from inside you. And I actually haven't showered, and you can hear my nose very nasally. So I lowered the vibe, and I thought I was done with this, you know. What a sucker. I'm getting tired because last winter was very difficult. I hadn't healed any of this trauma, and I had a lot to learn. I had a lot of cracks in the armor to fix, and I have been fixing them all year. And as this summer and fall came, I was starting to feel strong. So my baseline vibration was always higher. Now, when winter hits, it becomes harder and harder to ground yourself. You become indoor. You have to go indoors more. So it's much more difficult to use nature and the environment to raise your vibration. Not impossible, but much more difficult. And I'm going back into this winter. After all of that work, I'm still in the same home, which is difficult on us. I'm still in the same physical environment where there's highways close to me, and I'm still having days where my vibration just isn't there. So I'm looking at this winter that's coming up, and I'm thinking to myself, this is going to be rough. I mean, there's no way it can be as rough as last winter because, like I said, I hadn't healed anything then. But I am concerned, and it's a little depressing to think that I have to go and manage myself the way I did last year, which was, basically trudge off into the woods every day, just to keep myself sane. So I don't know what this video is about at this point. It's a story about low vibrational energy and trying to protect myself and a trip to the barber. So I think I'll leave it there. Yeah, like I always say, I hope this video finds you well. I love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow.